don't play World of Warcraft.
Butters, you said you're on your computer all the time.
Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Butters, go buy World of Warcraft, install it on your computer, and join the online sensation before we all murder you.
Oh, all right then.
Hi friends, I'm Sarah Jo Strawberry, and today I just want to talk about Butters' favorite video game, and perhaps my Butters' favorite video game based on the amount of times he's crawled into my lap to watch me play, Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I have obsessively been playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure since it was released on the Switch in January. It has just been my personal game of the year for 2025, whereas last year it was Hogwarts Legacy. I've played almost every day since its Switch release, and almost played the PC or mobile version before the Switch release, but I wanted it to be a fresh experience on the Switch, and I'm so glad I did. But some interesting things I picked up on while playing the game that lead me to believe this game was not made with kids in mind. It's not that it's not kid-friendly, people of all ages could enjoy it, but this game was specifically made for kids of a certain generation, and that would be millennials like myself. Also, I absolutely believe it was not a coincidence that this game was named Hello Kitty Island Adventure, that they did get the name for the game from that episode of South Park, which just absolutely tickles me as a South Park fan, as a Sanrio Hello Kitty fan. Hello Kitty Island Adventure starts with a bang, or more accurately, it starts with an opportunity to meet all of your new adorable friends, followed by a kerthunka thunka thunka thunka. Now, just before our plane loses control, we get our first reference that is clearly meant for the millennials playing when Kuromi talks about her series, Kuromi Explains It All. A very obvious Clarissa Explains It All reference. And then as our plane starts to go haywire, we get a Snakes on a Plane reference from Batsumaru, and he then jumps out of the plane, which, the way we skydive and make our landing on Friendship Island is not how one jumps out of a plane properly, in case it was not obvious. But I know from experience. And a very surprising and odd choice to start this Hello Kitty game with what I thought was going to be a plane crash, but you at least having to make an emergency landing by skydiving. It would also seem that I can't avoid and just seem to be drawn to games that involve Potions Class and Potions Masters, where some of Kuromi's quests where you need to brew a potion are called Potions Class, insert potion here. And this time, I get to be the Potions Master, not unlike my Halloween costume this past year. While playing this game, I can't help but feel that it would more appropriately be called My Melody Island Adventure. The inciting incident that brings Hello Kitty, My Melody, and some of their friends to Friendship Island and Big Adventures Park is that My Melody was invited to open a gift shop, Small Gift, Big Smiles, on Friendship Island in Big Adventures Park. And it is also My Melody who greets us every day when we start the game and gives us the rundown of what's happening on the island, who's visiting that day, and who's going to be visiting soon. But Hello Kitty sometimes almost seems like an afterthought. I'll run into her in the game and think, oh right, your name is like half the title. But she's just hiding out in the cafe, baking pies and cakes, I guess. There have also been a number of moments in this game that have made me question if video games now are somehow using AI to track our interests and our histories and incorporate them into the game we're playing. Yesterday, I played the quest Old Friends, New Friends, which just felt so personal, and it was about just making sure there are activities to do for the elderly residents of Friendship Island. And I, for a number of years, worked at an assisted living, and one of the many things I did while I was there, or that I helped out with, was activities, calling bingo, assisting with painting, and similar to Hello Kitty's grandma, there was a resident who basically was a tailor on the side. She was also a Dominican nun, and Sister Mary Jean. She was very quiet, but an excellent seamstress. So as I'm editing, I thought of another little anecdote I wanted to share. I have a lot of stories from working in the assisted living. I worked there for, again, many years, and the painting thing as an activity for the residents reminded me of this particular story of my dear Loretta, who has since passed. And this one day I was in the art room talking to our activities director, and she was in such a mood that day. And, she was very with it, which is important to the story to see that she was with it. And she was doing some painting. And out of nowhere, she says something like, "You're so fake, you're so phony." And I was like, what are you talking about? Let me get into it. We're going back and forth. I'm like, Loretta, whatever. And she said to me, as I was leaving, one of my favorite things someone has ever said to me, and this was like over 10 years ago, or almost 10 years ago, and since then I've wanted to put this on a shirt. I'm gonna do it someday. But I was like, whatever, I'm going home. And as I walk out, Loretta yells to me, "If you can't take the heat, stay out of the Parthenon." Loretta.
They say of the Acropolis, the Parthenon is. They say of the Acropolis, the Parthenon is.
Continuing with references that millennials would absolutely eat up, there are also a couple of Bob Ross references in this quest, both from Hello Kitty's grandpa or Keroppi quoting Hello Kitty's grandpa.
And there we go.
Also, Aggretsuko is just so incredibly relatable. I avoided watching the Aggretsuko animated series when it came out. I don't think I've ever seen an episode, but it came out right around the time I finished college and was entering the workforce, and it was just, what I'd seen of it was far too relatable, and I just didn't know if I would actually have a fun time watching, to be honest with you. But even now there are moments when I'm playing the game and Aggretsuko brings up being stressed about work. I'm like, oh, girl, I feel you. My absolute favorite reference made in the game comes from when you go to the comedy night with Aggretsuko and Hangyodan, where they make a joke about metal music, and one of the possible punchlines is, "Yes, the system was down." Now, of course, I know there's a Tool joke in there too, but that System of a Down joke felt real personal. There's also another music reference from Hangyodan that very much reflects one of my playlists with the way it swings from one genre to the next, and that is when Hangyodan quotes "Part of your world. What's a fire, and why does it burn?" And then there was the moment I knew I had to make a video about this. I'd been wanting to make a video about Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but there was a moment that I was like, I need to talk about this, and that was when I got a surprise summer visit from Barry. I wasn't expecting him to arrive until the fall, but he arrived on my island in June, and his first quest was called Chocolate Balls. Now, of course, immaturely, I giggle at such a name for a dessert, but I know it's a real dessert, and I knew it was an item in the game, so I wasn't too surprised. However, the, flavor text of this quest, was what confirmed for me that Hello Kitty Island Adventure absolutely got its name from South Park, and that is the South Park reference that is made in the flavor text for this quest. My two favorite things are jokes and cooking. It's called Culinary Mischief, and it's a serious art form, okay? Initially, I thought this may be a Randy Marsh reference, as I was remembering the line from the Freemium Isn't Free episode when he talks about the smorgasvine.
I am not chugging beer. I'm sampling a flight of gluten-free German lagers with a French wine pairing. It's called a smorgasvine, and it's elegantly cultural.
I thought that quote ended with him saying to Stan, okay. But the next line of the flavor text is what gives it away. And that is, cook up some chocolate balls. Crack a window if you're feeling sweaty. There is no way this isn't a reference to Chef's chocolate salted balls.
I want you to check out my new confectionaries. I think they're gonna sell right through the roof. I call them Chef's Salted Chocolate Balls.
Like, why would they throw in the crack a window if you're feeling sweaty? There's no other reason for that line. Other than, you know, sweat is salty. Salty balls. Salty, sweaty balls. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Say everybody haven't seen my balls. They're big and salty and brown.
Finally, there is the most recent update to Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Today is June 27th, 2025, and yesterday there was a new update on the Switch version of the game that, at least for me, allowed me to finally construct and open Big Challenge's roller coasters. So, let's go for a ride. Alright, this looks pretty cool. I'm excited, I love roller coasters. Wait, the last challenge? I've been playing this game for like 5 months straight, but I wasn't ready for the last challenge or for the main story of the game to be over. Alright. Whoa. Wait. Huh. This has probably been a pretty short one, but I just wanted to bring up some of these little moments in Hello Kitty Island Adventure that I've been enjoying, and if you've been playing, I hope you have too. So let me know in the comments if you have been playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure, if you've picked up on any other jokes that were definitely thrown in there for us millennials, or maybe for other generations that I simply didn't get. And, you know, who's your favorite Sanrio character? My favorites are Karopi. I, switched my shirt for that joke, but, and Kuromi was, can't really see her, but hanging back here with me. But I mean, I love them all. They're all just so adorable, and I just want to grab them all in a big hug and cuddle them. And, I know they're not real, but they're my friends in my mind. Anyway, thanks again, as always, for watching. Please give this video a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Butters, do you have any opinions on the game? I see.
Butters, what the hell are you doing?
I got World of Warcraft like you said.
You can't be the dwarf character, Butters. I'm the dwarf.
Well, there's only like 4 races to choose
So
from.
pick another one. I'm the dwarf, you stupid asshole. Log out, create a new character, and log back in.
I like Hello Kitty Island Adventure a lot more than this stuff.